Good afternoon. My name is Councilmember Andy King. I represent the 12th District of the Northeast section of the Bronx. I'm also the co-chair of the Black, Latino, and Asian Caucus of the New York City Council. I'm proud to be joined by my colleague in the City Council, Councilmember Fernando Cabrera, who represents the 14th District, as well as the district leader for the 83rd Assembly District, Jamal Bailey, as well as Henry Singleton from 1199 and Ms. Clark from Medgar Evers College, and as well as Mr. Winston, an educator. We are surrounded by a number of youth from the borough of the Bronx who are annoyed and outraged of how they have been treated over the last couple of years by DOE and athletics. The fact is that the DOE has violated the Civil Rights Act of 1964. How so? The DOE provides funding for more than 40 teams in New York City, whitest high schools, while leaving 38,000 high school students of color with no sports in the spring. Black and Latino students are twice likely as white students to go to an NYC DOE high school with no sports. NYC Let Them Play. Students have led courageously and embarked on a 12-month campaign with direct action against the DOE for violating their civil rights by not allowing Black and Latino students equitable access to high school sports. Inexplicably, the DOE has reacted to their campaigns with threats and punishments. They told their families that protesting is unsafe and unauthorized, that protesting will lead to getting arrested, that protesting could lead their families to getting deported. Do you understand that? How can the DOE, how can they allow staff to threaten a child with civil action that their families or themselves can be deported? That is deplorable, and we will not stand for that type of rhetoric. We rely on our educators to teach, protect, and nurture our children. I don't care how frustrated, because yes, our children can push you to limits, but you have a responsibility. If you want to use words that are punishing, then you know what, you deny them a trip somewhere. Or you say if you fail your classes, then you're not going to be, if you fail in your grades, you will not be able to pass the class. But to allow a principal, to allow a teacher to use the conversation of deportation when this country has been founded and activities of civil rights and marching and protests have pushed this government and pushed society to do the right thing, to tell them they can be deported, they should be held accountable for it. And I'm asking for the DOE to respond to any educator who used this language to be suspended or terminated from their job. These students didn't get justice. And inexplicably, after the DOE took the money, they closed down the SSAL and attempted to merge it into the PSAL. They announced that they had created a new SSAL, and this new SSAL excluded 149 teams, including many that played in 2011. These students did not accept that injustice. They have marched, they have protested, and engaged in civil disobedience. You know, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. will be proud of all these students. Matter of fact, let's give these students a hand for all of that work that they've put in. I provided a plan of how they would equitably distribute the $27 million budget, $27 million that they have in the budget. Now, the curious thing that I'm still trying to figure out is at a hearing that we had last month, the budgetary hearing, I asked the question about this funding, and I was told by the Chancellor second in command who was with her, that $27 million was the budget, but $24 million went to permits and staffing. So I was a little confused, because now you're telling me that $3 to $4 million went just to program for our children. Something is wrong with those numbers. Something is wrong of how you're spending the money that the city is giving you for athletic sports. Something is wrong where we're talking about communities of color as opposed to non-communities of color, and how many sports teams that these schools are having. When a child goes to school and wants to say, I would like to participate in basketball, or I want to participate in football, I want to participate in baseball, I want to participate in soccer, you cannot come back and tell them we'll give you table tennis. Something is wrong with that. You cannot do that. And that's what these students have been experiencing. So that just tells us again that something is not right. And if something is not right, we have a responsibility to uncover it, to recover from it, and to fix it. Not to chastise these children, not to hold them as they violated some law, not to disrespect them or threaten them with deportation, but hear the words that they've been sharing and not have any closed backroom conversations, but have a public conversation about what we need to do to make sure that our children have athletic sports in their schools. Schools are no longer one big school. We have 5 schools in some buildings. We have different schools located in business offices. You have changed the dynamics in your school system. So that means your athletic system must adjust. The PSAL, which I benefit from, and that's why I understand the importance of sports, it educated me, it taught me discipline, it taught me the value of teamwork, it taught me the value of time management, and I stand here today because of sports. So if you're going to change the educational system where you have all these different variables, well, the PSAL has to do the same thing. If we know that children that go to SAL at small schools, that they may be a little older than the children who were in a traditional high school system, then you have to change the rules. Because we know that we have some students that, under the PSAL rules, will not qualify. So that means the small school athletic league, which was put together by a gentleman by the name Dave Rose, and I think he's done a wonderful job of giving these young people access to high school sports, then we should have figured out, if you can't figure out how to do it within the PSAL, then keep a dedicated league just for the students and the talents that go to small schools. That's one of the ways you figure it out, not trying to merge it in and mess it up and taking the money and not doing right, and students still not having playing sports this spring. So with that being said, I'd like for us all to hear from some of the students who have experienced it, to tell their story. And first I want to bring up, I want to bring her up, and then I want to first I'm going to bring my colleague up, and then we're going to hear from the students. I'm going to ask Councilmember Fernando Cabrera, please, to come to the mic.
Thank you so much, King, for your leadership, especially when it comes to our young people. You have pretty much said it all, so I'm going to say in Spanish, because I know we have Spanish media, lo voy a decir en español. Esto da una vergüenza que tenemos estudiantes en el sistema de educación, departamento de educación, que no están recibiendo la oportunidad de involucrarse en deporte. Las escuelas grandes, ellos tienen privilegio, todos los estudiantes están en deporte, pero estos jóvenes que están yendo a las escuelas pequeñas, estamos hablando de miles y miles, especialmente latinos y afroamericanos, no le están dando la oportunidad de participar en deportes, en equipos oficiales aquí en la ciudad de Nueva York. Le dimos millones de dólares para hacer esto el año pasado y todavía no hemos visto los resultados intentados. También algunos de estos estudiantes han sido amenazados por su escuela diciéndole que van a deportar hasta sus padres si ellos siguen en lo que ellos están haciendo, y lo que ellos están haciendo es explicando a todo el mundo el problema que está ocurriendo. En verdad ellos se merecen medallas y no castigo. Con este día estamos aquí para apoyar a nuestros jóvenes, que en verdad ellos se merecen su deporte, y eso es la ley del estado de Nueva York. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Councilmember. We're going to ask Fatu, can you please come up? Let's give her a hand, because civil rights matter.
Good afternoon. My name is Fatu from International Community High School. I go to a high school that have the least access to high school sports. And there are over 17,000 students of colors who go to a high school with no sports. There is no soccer, no basketball, no baseball, none. Not even the sports we used to have before. Why? Because the PSAL denied us the team we applied it for. We want our rights to live in peace, our rights to treat with dignity, our rights to have equal opportunity, especially when it comes to education. That's right.
I didn't know you got bronze, that you gotta get all this struggle like we used to struggle in Africa, all this struggle like we see in TVs, all this struggle. But it's not fair for the jury to tell us in a public meeting saying that if you're still protesting, like you're gonna get deported. That's not fair, and this is really hurt our feelings. Thank you.
about Martin Luther King in school. We learned that to get civil rights, you have to take risks and protest. We did that over a year. We went to City Hall last year. We went to City Hall this year, but we didn't see anything. The DOE has reassigned 2 of our teachers after the protest, just because they have helped us fight for these rights. Their goal is to educate us about our rights, but they got reassigned for doing so. Also, they are pressuring the school educators not to support us in our fight. In our school, when we ask the teachers to sign our demands, they're not allowed to sign any demands. They don't say we agree or we not agree with you, but they cannot sign because the DOE has told them not to. Yesterday, we received a visit from Deputy Chancellor Rose and Kevin Moran in our school. We showed them our school. We are cohabiting with 4 different schools in the same building. We showed them every part, and they said this is a nice school. But when we come to talk, we gave them suggestions in how students who are not playing can get in the league, in the PSL or the CSL or SSL or any other league they may have for us. But they told us that they will think about it. We thank them from coming to see us. But unless we see something, we cannot believe what they said. Because they said that 3 years ago. They said that 5 years ago when David Rosen started the SSAL. But what do we see now? We don't have sport. What are we doing here? Because we don't have sport. If we had sport, we'd be on the soccer field, basketball field, baseball field. But we are here every day, every Wednesday at City Hall, just because we want them to hear us. We want them to hear us. They came to us, but we don't want promises. We want something to sign with our hands, saying that we'll get sport next spring. Thank you.
So you've heard the story, you've heard the testimony, and that's why we're here today. While we in government have a responsibility to work together, we have a right to uphold and protect government also and make sure we hold people accountable. The DOE, which we're asking today, is that we need for you to address the allegations of whoever in the DOE, which we've been notified who that individual is, in a public meeting, mentioned about deporting students. They should be held accountable for making that statement. They made that statement publicly, then they should be denounced publicly. Something needs to happen to them. Secondly, they've told you that their concerns about wanting to